Alright everybody, welcome back. We're all ready to go back to the main story quest now and pretty much continue it through the rest of the zone. So let's go ahead and talk to Alice down this way, since we already went past her once. And I don't think we have too much farther to go at this point. Narn, what are you doing out here? No, I don't mind if you help with the boxes, but it's far from the most exciting task. Are you sure? Well, I appreciate the assistance. We need to get these to Apora. Time is short, of course, but they're full of organic specimens and samples, so try not to be too rough with them. Alphanot should be waiting for us when we arrive. I'll see you there. Okay, we have 3 minutes to do this. Nice. Well, the quickest way would be to pretty much just cut across everything that we have to be wary of monsters about. Doesn't seem like there's really any monsters in our way though, which is nice. Oh, he's not all the way down there, okay. Oh, you're helping with the crates, wonderful. You can put that there with the others. Yeah, my gratitude, but how'd you come to be involved in this? Yeah, I suppose I have Thancred to thank as well. If you're wondering why we were tasked to bring these boxes to Apora to begin with, so was I. Turns out that this is a base of operations of sorts. There's a final say as to what is included in the ship manifest can be found here. Father included, I suspect. That should be everything. You carried all of that at once? Are you trying to injure yourself? Oh hush, they're lighter than you look. And not everyone has your delicate arms. I suppose we should let someone know that we're finished. Theopolitan is in the courtyard. We can report to him. Why don't you come along? You should get credit for your assistance, at least, considering where we are. You might even learn something interesting. Alright. There's some sort of, like, fate back there about to start up. Is that not Fortnite right there? Maybe not, I don't know. Gods, it never ends, does it? What can I do for you? We brought samples from Charlene Hamlet, 0110. Crates are by the entrance. I thank you. I expected one of my colleagues, but we are dreadfully short-handed. Just a moment. You are Fortnite's children, are you not? Often on us, LSA at your service. You're well acquainted with Father, I take it. Quite, I've been friends with your parents since our days at the studio. I remember when you were ye-high, wattering here and there. Clearly it's been quite some time since we met. It's good to see you again. Including your father's no less. You knew our parents when they were young. What were they like? Pray spare no detail. I should like nothing more to regale you, alas I meant to be in charge here, and reams of paperwork want for a submission. We can help with that, in exchange for some sort of stories our parents would never willingly divulge, of course. Very well then. There happens to be 3 sets of documents in need of delivery, so how about you each take one? Wait right there! Okay, it looks like we're delivering this one, I guess. You'll find a forum representative waiting to collect these near the southernmost structure. I hope I haven't kept her waiting too long. Never mind offline LSA, I'm certain they'll be back soon enough. Southernmost structure, okay. This looks to be about the southernmost structure right here, so I guess we have to look around. Ah, there they are. Oh, you were not one of the Science of the Seventh Dawn. I thought you were meant to be working on the ether burner. Theopoldin's paperwork. I was beginning to worry he had misplaced his quill. I appreciate your help in seeing these documents to my hands at last. As for your other task, pray keep this between us, but I sincerely hope you succeed. The Exodus is, without a doubt, the most monumental undertaking in the history of the Forum, and so we must circumspect in all respects. Risk is a privilege we cannot afford ourselves. At its heart, however, Sharlayan has ever been a nation of the curious. It would be a tragedy indeed if we were the ones to stymie your pursuit of truth. Well, that works out, doesn't it? Well, good efficient. I dare say you have a talent for this work. The twins' papers will only need to be delivered to elsewhere in the facility, so they should be returning any moment. We return if not a scrap of paperwork remaining on our persons, you will note. You both have my thanks, and my apologies for sending you on an errand far below your ambitions. Why, even as a babe, you struggled out of your swaddling clothes, and... That's quite enough of that, thank you. It was compromising stories of our parents that we asked to hear, to reiterate. Of course. I've known your father for so long, I must have something, Well, as you know, part of why the Levanor name gathers so much respect in Sharlayan is your name's storied history. You too can trace your ancestry directly to those that came aboard Nunkaref's Hope, a lineage few can claim. Never thought much of it myself. It's as though our forebears founded our nation. They were simply there when it happened. Nevertheless, it has traditionally been a point of pride. 'Tis why Nunkaref's pronouncement, renounce the ways of war and pursue enlightenment through knowledge and reason, has ever been our family's creed. Until your grandfather's time, eh? Archon Loisois looked not to Nunkaref's words, but his deeds. He asserted, in defiance of his peers, that choosing to save the great and the small from the rising tides was the true mark of the founder's virtue. Perhaps it was his expertise, his knowledge of ancient prophecy, and the fall of civilizations that led to him to conclude that to eschew conflict at every turn was to co-sign mankind to his doom. There will ever be conflict, and calamity will follow, thus... To ignore the plight of those that one might conceivably save is not wisdom, it is indolence. You remember his words well, indeed. Archon Loisois lived by that personal creed, and used every means at his disposal to bring succor to those in need, Sharlayan or no. No one loved and admired your grandfather more than his son. Yet Fortunats could not reconcile Loisois' deeds with the facility of their forebears, his peers. Philosophically, in which he believed so fervently, yet made a pariah of his father. Fortunato agonized over this contradiction for most of his life. God's father. A son may carry his father's blood, but his choices are his own to bear, is it not always thus? God knows Fortune, a cranky old goat, so I'm sure you butt heads often enough. Yet even so, you must know that you are constantly in his thoughts, even every moment of every day, and that is not an exaggeration in the slightest. You should have seen him when you were born. Barely recognizable he was, with a kind of dumbfounded grin I'd not seen on him since he first took a fancy to your mother. He was practically skipping when he told me the news. Take my word for it, he loves you to an embarrassing degree. But he's also frustratingly single-minded. Once he's decided the given action is for the best, he'll stay that course no matter who or what poses him. A profoundly annoying habit when you're at the other end of it. I'm sure you'll agree. I'll say. Thank you for your insight, and when next we meet our parents, I shall mention that we spoke. Try not to get me into too much trouble now. I need the form on my side. Speaking of which, I ought to be getting back to work. I have to make sure these specimens you brought make it to their proper places, so the cranky old goat will have my hide. We can speak again later. Get the hand gear, okay. I think we're just missing headgear at this point. Hail, you three! Graha, surely Koko hasn't driven you out of the forge already. For better or for worse, no. However, he has set me a task that requires more than my single pair of hands, and here you are. I could use at least one of you, but I won't object to more. Unfortunately, Alice and I have prior commitments, and we have delayed too long as it is. What about you, Narn? Can you spare the time? Perfect, this shouldn't take long. Alright. Let's get our gear coffer. Yep, here we go. 544. In the event that our, and I quote, promised heap of adamante falls right out of the bloody sky into my lap, Master Kakoa wishes to be ready to put the proverbial hammer to the anvil at moment's notice. To fabricate these parts, however, he needs the flames in Kako's forge to be burned hotter. He sent me to increase the amount of ether being funneled to his furnaces. The flow of fire expected ether in Labyrinthus is regulated by an elemental reactor south of here, to which I have borrowed the key. The adjustment will require 2 people to carry out safely, but I can explain the process when we arrive. This is where we part then. We'll see you in Charlie and Hamlet once the Avenant arrives, if not more before. This way then. Here we go then. Guess there's something going on over here. The rector is housed within this facility. I'll be the one to go inside and adjust the fire ether output. When I do, a rather large amount of wilder expected ether will fissure from the vent at the top, and I expect this will attract at least a few elementals, which we would both rather not be drawn to the reactor itself, trust me. Can I ask you to put down any that draw too near? They'll pose little trouble, I'm sure. Wait here if you would. Oh, I thought that was an enemy at first. Here they come. That's one down. And here comes some more. try to Holy Circle on them. Any more? Yep, here we go. Alright. Looks like we're good now, I think. Did everything go smoothly out here? I thought as much. No major complications to speak of inside either. And the water ether appears to be venting properly. I expect Kakul will have seen a difference in his forge flames by the time I return. Since I have you, there was another matter I thought to discuss with you. Nothing terribly important, merely something I've been considering. Part of this I shared with everyone, yet you, and only you, have been to Ilpis. As we have established, refined adamant is a product of Alag, of the Empire's twilight years, in fact. It was a material which saw much of use of Allagan's efforts to extend beyond the bounds of this world, Dalamod, of course, being the most prominent. Of those who would push further, expand Allag's empire to encompass the heavens and the stars above, perhaps the greatest was its infamous technologist, Amon. Did he remember his life as Hermes? I believe he had his own reasons. There is no evidence to suggest that he retained the memories of his former life. He only joined the Ascians once the Empire was all but dust, as you know. If not his memory, though, what drove him to pursue the idea for such fever? This may seem far-fetched, but what if souls, like minds, have a personality, so to speak? A natural disposition towards what they were inclined? We know of relative certainty that it was a gross decadence and exponential decline of Allag that moved Amon to resurrect Emperor Zand. The Empire's people spoke lightly of death and destruction, experimenting on those they deemed beneath them to fill the emptiness in their hearts. In facilitating Zand's return, Amon provided those languid souls with the means to free themselves from the mire of their own indolence. Or would have, had not Zand been convinced by his own death that life itself was meaningless. Amon's desire for his countrymen to conquer the heavens could only be means to the same end, and still the people with a new purpose. Like Hermes before him, Amon was appalled by how those around him lived, but could never bring himself to believe that those lives were devoid of meaning. And both of them sought that meaning, that hope in the distant stars. Such is my theory, anyway. Ultimately, it is the consequences of their actions which matter. Their motives are of no moment. And yet, to reach those stars on wings of adamant, to travel the ends of creation and beyond, the promise of hope everlasting, that much I do understand. But enough musing for now. Why don't we see how Coco is getting on? I assume he's all the way back at the hamlet, isn't he? Or no, actually not. He's off that way. Okay. That's fine with me. Almost there, I think. Ooh, I can feel those flames blazing from here. Glad you found someone capable, Graha, but there's not much left for you to do. That should encourage you up that refined adamante any faster. Oh, we got the headgear. I do trust you delivering your promise, I do, only... I hate waiting. I want the Adamite and I want it now. We are sure your impatience, I assure you. Is there nothing else that we can assist you with in the meantime? I wish the sentence about's unbearable. Pity the frowns on recreational explosions. Well, as long as they can't prove it to be premeditated, get your gone. I have mistakes to make. In that case, I suppose I should go and return the key to the reactor. I'll have one more look to make sure that nothing has gone wrong, unintentionally or otherwise. I'm certain there are better uses for your time, however. I'll join you in Charlie and Hamlet, and on. Alright, I guess we just go ahead and wait over at the Hamlet. I saw that this quest also gives us the ether current we're missing, so... we'll just be basically at the end of the quest line for this place. I'm guessing the trial must be next. We're about halfway on our experience bar, too.
All set, I take it?
We finished what we could. Delivered supplies, tracked down escaped animals. Trivial tasks as they may be.
That's enough, don't you think? If there was anything more important still undone, that would be a problem in itself.
The vessel is essentially ready for departure. All that remains is to load the final batch of supplies and see everyone on board. Once we've readied the ether burner, that is.
Ah, had a feeling we might find you all here.
Our consultations with the Loperates, too, have run their course. Pleased I am to say that our researchers' concerns have, for the most part, been allayed, though some insist on making adjustments to the very end. For their part, Livingway and her peers have graciously offered to stay and keep the people company, lest any lingering queries go unanswered.
All that remains is to wait for the refined adamantite.
Alphino, are you there? It's me, Cryo. Your special delivery has arrived. Round up everyone and come to the harbor at once.
Speak of the devil. Let us go at once.
Forgive the intrusion, Master Fortuner. I bring urgent news. A great commotion has broken out in Scholar's Harbor. Your presence is requested, with all speed.
That's probably like all the nation's ships showing up in their harbor at once.
Now, where might this delivery be? Oh.
I'm sure it's very important, but we cannot accept these without the proper permits.
By the 12! Surely,
These can't all be.
Bleeding hellfire! They're bringing them by sea and by air. All these folks in these crates.
And more on the way. You've got your adamantite right here. A bigger haul than any of these sorry bastards brought, and that's no lie.
Yes, because you were charged with seeing the shipments from Gridania and Uldar here, along with your own. Give credit where credit is due.
Sounds like the sorry whinging of a sore loser. An hypocrite to boot. Ain't no way a scrawny whelp like you took a dozen steps inside a Dalaman shard.
I'll have you know I went all the way to the entrance. Furthermore, 'twas my contacts that enabled us to enlist the cooperation of the Sky Pirates.
Left you outside so you wouldn't get anyone killed, did they? Well then, credit where credit's due, you did a right fine job sitting on your ass.
Take that back.
Make me.
I will not stoop to your level.
My, what a grand welcome party.
Hancock and Soroban.
We come bearing relics both sacred and elegant, as well as a few other gifts that may be of help, to be presented with best wishes from the Eastern Alliance.
I myself have come with a sacred relic of Rayson Temple. 'Twas passing fortunate that Senri's dango craving brought us to Kugane. We arrived precisely as Hancock was making his arrangements. Upon learning of your need, we made haste back to Hell's Lid, with our dango, never fear, and consulted with the other auspices. All consented to the lending of Tenzin's legendary Phoenix Blade for this noble cause. Suzaku and Seiryu were nevertheless worried that it might be lost in transit, however, and insisted upon accompanying me to Onakol, where I had intended to entrust it to our Confederate allies. I thought instead to give it over to Hancock when we chanced to cross paths yet again. But alas, Seiryu remained ill at ease, and ordered me see the blade into your hands personally, or die trying.
We did, of course, need quite the impressive vessel to get it all here in time. Fortunately, our majestic associates have been more than helpful. 'Tis an honor to join the Warrior of Light on another adventure, they tell me.
That is all wonderful to hear, but what of the extraordinary cost? I shudder to think of the ransom we must pay for such a bounty.
Fret not for your coin purse, young Alphino. Lord Lolorito looks ever towards the profits of the future, and thus the East Aldenar Trading Company went to some lengths to reduce the financial liability. And since the Scions funded the entire venture, not a gill need be rendered up in compensation. Everything is already yours.
We funded the venture? When?
Don't let the name fool you. This coinkeeper knows a thing or two about spending. When it comes to capital investiture, a sprinkling of gil here and there will not do. You need enough savings to make waves when it really counts, which is why frugality is paramount. We also have the benefit of a generous patron. Generous being rather an understatement. She has supported us from the shadows since the very founding of the Scions. Ere we even had coffers to fill.
Mother!
Amelians.
I remain, of course, an entirely neutral party. I simply thought our family's coffers were needlessly full. We can hardly take them with us on your teeny-tiny toy boat, now can we? And would be a shame to leave all that hard-earned wealth unspent. Waste not.
However did you manage so much in so short a time now? We expected word to reach only a fraction of our allies.
Did I not tell you I have my ways? Erenville, you were involved too.
I received a letter from Cryo after we parted ways in Labyrinthos. She explained what the Scions were trying to accomplish, and why you might soon require the services of the Gleaners, spread across the world as we are. I pray you do not interpret this as a betrayal of Charlotte. I accept that the Forum's aim in pushing us to our limits was to preserve what knowledge we have, and I bear you no ill will for it. Yet, in collecting that knowledge, what I came to appreciate most about our star is that there remains so much we do not know. That is why I chose to help the Scions, to combat the obliteration of those countless, undiscovered wonders. I held no illusions that they would be less demanding taskmasters. Though, rest assured, if I had, I would have been sorely disappointed. To make a long story short, the whole of the guild ship cooperated to ensure your call was heard far and wide.
What's this about a ship that can fly to the moon? And why didn't you mention it sooner? The one time you don't beg my aid, your problem's a bloody ship that can fly to the moon.
See it! You brought the team.
Of course. Garland Ironworks' finest. You need only point us towards my new favorite ship. Oh, I nearly forgot. We stopped by Whirlwind before coming here and picked up a package from Gaius. He's still of the mind that actions make for better penance than words, contrite or otherwise, so we offer none of the latter. What he sent is an Allegan relic Valens used in his weapons experiments. Has a fair bit of refined adamantite in it too.
As you like us not suspect, we've also brought adamantite for Mordona's Dalamud shard. I admit to some consternation upon first receiving Kryl's message. So few Scions remain at the Rising Stones now, far too few for such an expedition. However, the Gleaners were able to secure us reinforcements. Idleshire's treasure hunters, not least among them. I know. How the Gobbyflock fought. Slowfix's gratitude for the safe return of his daughter has not waned, and he gathered his kin to our side with an astounding quickness. The clash between their machina and the Allegan defences was a sight to behold. I wager even you would have been impressed by the magnitude of the Gobby-boons.
Fascinating as all this is, I fail to see how it explains your presence here. Does Razat-Han not have more pressing concerns?
We do. Yet averting the final days would be the most expedient solution. That, and I am indebted to you. Though they chose to take their leave of Thavnair, those you saved in Galimund remain my people. My gratitude is beyond words. 'tis appropriate that I aid you in kind. If in the doing we bring salvation to others of this star, so much the better. You will recall that I spoke of my father, Midgard Somur, and his journey across the great expanse. As he traveled betwixt the stars, his resplendent scales drank of the ether in those nigh empty surrounds, and imparted to him the strength to persevere. Thinking they might further your cause, I called out to my kin for consent. Ajdaya's answer was silence, as ever. Tiamat and Hrisvelgre, however, responded favorably to the suggestion. My sire, too, stirred from his slumber long enough to speak and say, "Very well." Thus have I brought you his own worm scales. Fit them to your purpose, and seek a worthier fate for us all.
You'd be hard-pressed to find someone else so familiar with the unique properties of dragon scales. So I invited myself in.
Look at me, this is so unbelievable. I've gone right back round to believing it again. Forget a 6% gain in efficiency. With all these goodies, we could get 7, no, 10, no, 14 bleeding %. Think of how far we could go. What we could do with that much power. What we could blow up.
If Kokol is duly convinced, then it must be true. In which case, the science end of the bargain has been fulfilled. Would you not agree?
Yes, Father?
I know not what you seek of Hydaelyn, nor for what purpose you would take command of our ship. Yet this much is certain. To do so will be to dictate the fate of this star and the lives upon it. The lives of each and every creature, in their magnitude and their fragility. Do you understand? And are you prepared?
We have seen and we have felt how much each life shapes this world. And so we are determined to abandon none. We understand what is at stake, and we are prepared to bear this burden.
Then I will bear it with you. I beg you, share your struggles with me. As family. You grasped my fingers with such tiny hands the day you were born. I thought my heart might burst. It was love and happiness beyond expression. Overwhelming. And a conviction so powerful that I trembled with something close to rage. I had heard the final days foretold. I swore to myself then and there that I would not let them steal your futures. The great Exodus would succeed, must succeed. No sacrifice or sin was worse than the alternative. If anything gave me pause, 'twas mine own father. The Archon Louisois openly decried Charlian's policies, a perspective which I regarded with increasing disdain as I grew older. Yet even as part of me thought him a fool. Perhaps I also hoped that he, of all people, would devise a brilliant means to save my children. A naive hope, but stubborn enough that I could never bring myself to keep you apart. No, that was his doing, when he perished at Cartano, as we pulled that twisted slab of Dalamud from the sea. I remembered the warmth of your newborn touch. Chastened, I vowed never again to suffer any interference in my mission to protect you. No matter that you yourselves wished otherwise. Detest me, fight me tooth and nail, I would suffer it, and more, and be satisfied so long as I could force you onto the ship. I was wrong. You two have grown so much stronger and so much wiser than I dared dream. You have earned the right to walk your own path, and already begun to do so.
Good. Because there are things we care about, and people we love, and none of them is replaceable. Not a one.
It cannot have been an easy journey for you to have come so far.
We shall be glad to acquaint you with the finer details someday, once this danger has passed. All that we have seen and heard, that we have felt and learned in our travels. Ours is not a kind world, but it is beautiful. Always.
Oh no. Are you quite sure that's wise? After all, someone turns pale and flees the room when he sees so much as an envelope containing word of your adventures. Whatever will happen if he learns what you were really up to?
Amelians. Though I have wronged my children most gravely, I owe you an apology as well. I assumed that it was the Scion's influence that made them so keen to charge headlong into danger. Yours, in particular. I see now that said influence instead brought them together with the many fine people gathered here today. In which case, I hope you continue to guide them.
If we've finished loitering about the harbor, might I suggest we put our plans into motion? People are beginning to look confused.
Perhaps you can spare a few words ere they resume the tedious lugging of cargo. You've no small number of friends and admirers here after all.
Our moment of triumph is close at hand.
Your assistance is appreciated. Now, in an orderly fashion, if you please.
All right. We finally managed to clear the harbor, which means the rest is in the 8 engineers' capable hands. Meanwhile, Father has issued us an invitation. As was agreed, he will reveal the means by which Hyland may be contacted. We are to meet him at Apora when we're ready. Given the vital knowledge she holds, I suggest we leave without delay. It transpires, however, that the form's method for speaking with her is not without risks. I'm curious to hear what that might entail, but regardless, we'll be warned. Most of those who arrived with the Animite have offered to stay and see to any remaining tasks they need doing. The former has already asked for my assistance in overseeing the process, so you needn't worry about a thing. Thank you, Totaro. We're off to Aporia, then. Okay, so we have to go to Apora. Right there. Okay. Narn, I've already shown the others inside. You'll want to speak of Clara 9. She has the key to the lift and can send you down after me. You're with Master Fortunu. Arrest? Just step inside the lift here. Yep, okay. I think this is the final area we need to be in for, at least I assume so? Yeah. There we go, now we've mapped out the entire area. From here, we proceed to the heart of Labyrinthos, and its most closely guarded secret, Thamenzen. Marks the beginning and the end of our efforts, whence we dwell to seek audience with the star, and whence we will embark on our journey to the heavens. This way, if you please. Oh, nice. I bid you welcome to Thamenzen. Direct your attention towards its center to behold the arc over which we have long labored. As you see, 'twas designed as a medium-sized craft, the better to reduce fuel consumption. Mesmerizing magics have been applied to its interior to ensure that the thrust-to-weight ratio does not place too great a limitation on its freight capacity. The ether burner, as you know, has been removed for further modification, but we will soon attach it soon enough. I received word that Coco and several of your allies are working on it with intense fever. They're sure to see it done. 'Twas by their expertise that many a prior disaster was averted. If anything, I fear they will not afford us much time for speak of Hydaelyn ere they finish. Point taken, let us move on. I must warn you again, however, that even with the benefit of our device, treat with her is not a simple feat. I've done what I can to impress upon you the gravity of what lies ahead. Are you prepared? Yes, I am. Her head cap here. What does it look like? Oh, I think I have it turned off by default. Hang on. Oh, that actually looks pretty nice. Make for the lift at the center of this chamber. Come. I guess not this way. I have to go another way. I guess we're heading down below into the, I guess that'd be the Ethereal Sea, I'd assume? As you all know, alongside our physical world exists an ethereal plane, what we refer to as the Ethereal Sea. At the heart of the star, the physical and ethereal are one and the same, thus the deeper we go, the easier it becomes to pass between said planes. We utilize this principle in constructing the anti-tower, and once more here in Thamazon. No sooner did the Forum decide to withdraw from Eruzia and begin work on this facility. Our work accumulated in a device that allows us to peer deeper into the ethereal sea than ever before, in search of Heidelin's ever fainter echoes. The Aleoscope. And you communicate with her through this device. For a time, yes, but since the 7th Emerald Calamity, it has been rare to even hear her whisper. If you wish to reach her, you must journey closer to the center of the star than we ever dared, beyond the Aleoscope. Even so, I make no guarantee that we'll find her, nor of your safety, not so deep in the Ethereal Sea. We understand, but if we are to deliver this world, we have no choice but to try. I know, I only wish we could do more than observe your progress from afar. The Aleoscope's ocular lens, by which we may peer into the Ethereal Sea without placing ourselves at hazard, lies above us. Through it, we can watch and guide you. In those swirling depths, there are pockets of ether so dense and turbulent that they can unravel one's soul. If we determine that you are at risk of coming in contact with such a pocket, we will recall you of the teleportation magics. To that end, it would be best if one familiar with the composition of your souls remain here to assist in assessing your said risk. Otherwise, there's an increased probability that we extract you too early or too late. Please allow me. I have thought about this much, and in truth, I do not believe that I am fit to join you in the trials ahead. The events of the Tower Babel drained me, yes, but even before that, your capabilities far outstrip my own. There is no time to have a weak link in our vanguard, no matter how much you may wish it were otherwise. If I assist you in the manner that Master Fortnitshoe has laid out, however, I may still be of use. Will you trust me to do so? Can think of no one I'd trust more, compared to all the effort you put into keeping us alive while our souls were in the first, preventing us from dissolving into ether. On a single expedition ought to pose no challenge at all. Even if we did, I expect you would hunt us down and restore us to health somehow. You flatter me, but rest assured that I'll be keeping a close eye on all of you. There's one more thing. Those in ages past referred to the Ethereal Sea as the Underworld, our final resting place. In its embrace is memory washed away, leaving only the purity of one's soul, or so we believe. Yet what of these memories, if you think to ask what becomes of them, cast adrift on the ethereal tides? Some theorize that they linger for some time, those associated with strong sentiment in particular. In those depths, memories of the departed may even coalesce around you, for hatred or for love. Thus do I caution you to be wary, but also to have faith. Remember those who did gladly extend your hand to you, and they may lift you up once more. Alright. I guess we're not getting a trial, we're getting a dungeon. Okay, so that'll be for next time, and I'll see you guys then. So see you then.